Hello, viewers. I'm Vibhuti Jha. This is Sanatan World. Please like, subscribe, and support our channel. Welcome to the show. Today, I wanted to talk to you about Hindu words, our Sanskritized words, which have been overtaken, or can I say, taken over, by certain players in the world around us, and they're giving a completely different meaning to it. I'm referring to specifically the word called Guru, Pundit, and Mantra. As it is, you know that Dharma has been confused with religion. It is not. Dharma is not a religion. Religion is a prescribed process on a date specific establishment of Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, the Abrahamic faith. Dharma is eternal. It is Sanatan Dharma. Dharma is not duty. Think about it from this point of view. The word dharma is non translatable. It is a very unique Sanskritized Hindu spiritual Sanatan word. So, dharma is not religion. I always make that distinction when I talk to my Christian and Muslim friends. I tell them, we are dharma, you are religion. And that's the important part. Remember, the British combined many Hindu words into their own manifestation or translation. Remember that part. It's very, very critical to understand. In that spirit, I also want to talk to you about three words, Guru, Pundit, and Mantra, which have been hijacked, taken over, or overtaken by the Western media. I have been listening to this for last several years. Actually, I have said this to many Hindu organizations that we must convey this message to Western media who refer to these three words in a very derogatory manner, with a slight, in the sense that they deride the word. The gurus and the pundits and the mantra is, you watch Western media, English media particularly, because that's where all of it happens. The guru of this, pandit of that, and mantra is this. They deride it. For in the Hindu Dharma, in our Sanatan Dharma, Guru, Pandit, and Mantra has a very important place, but they have been hijacked by these by these agencies. So think about it. A political guru. As a matter of fact, one TV analyst of Fox, his name is Jesse Waters. He had invited somebody who had moved away from porn and drug to normal life, and he was talking about his own life. He was described by Jesse Waters as the porn and drug guru. Think, what a derisive way to talk about somebody. He's a porn and drug guru. And I sent a message to him. You have no idea how significant the word guru is in our pratha, in our tradition. We even call our own educational process Guru Kul, which is very different from coach and mentor. Guru is a much deeper word than a coach and a mentor. This is how our words are taken over, manipulated, shredded, and destroyed. In the Western media, then you don't want to call anybody a guru. You don't want to call anybody a pandit. There is a designated role of these people. For example, our mantras. Our mantra has a deeper meaning. The sound, the vibration, the chanting of mantra produces vibrations in our body, calmness of mind. It has many connotations, from war to peace. The mantras have very deep meaning. When you chant them with the proper pronunciation and proper emphasis on the words, they produce effect. There is a very profound meaning to that. From Gayatri Mantra to Mahashivratri chantings, Jata Jata, all these things are very, very important to know. I can't tell you everything in the few minutes that we are talking here, but the Western media, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, BBC, you have named them all, and they all make a very derisive slay of hand in which they run down the significance of these words. Do you realize how they invade our very process of life? This is very important to understand. I also want to say to the Western media, and I want you to take this message. This responsibility is not mine alone. This responsibility is for you as well to take it to our channels. All the Indian channels must begin to talk about this, that the Guru, Mantra, and Pandit are very designated roles and responsibilities in our way of life. There is not some, no, not everybody other than Nehru can call himself Pandit. Pandit is a process. Guru is a process. Mantra is a process. These people, these elements have been established for a very specific purpose. I also want to say to them, actually, I say this, that why don't you replace the Guru, Mantra, and Pandit with a different, your own religious incantations? So, for example, I said, why don't you call him the Imam of porn, the Sheikh of drug, you know, or a Qazi or something like that? Because they have their own hierarchy. I mean, I don't need to tell you, you can Google it, that all these Islam and Christianity and everybody else, they have their own designation for various roles and responsibilities of people, right? They quote Sharia, they quote Hadith, they quote Gospel, they quote Bible. So I said, instead of using Guru, Mantra, and Pandit, replace it. Replace Pandit with Imam or Mufti or Sheikh or Qazi. Replace Pandit with Bishop, Pastor, or Priest, and replace Mantra with Gospel and Hadith. Would you do that? They will not. But we easily succumb to that. I want to repeat, the same channel or same person or the same Western media, when he calls somebody a porn guru, ask him to call that porn guru or drug guru as the imam of drug or the bishop of porn. They will not do that. They will not do that. And I don't need to tell you why. And if you did it, you and I will be killed, because that will be called religious and blasphemy and all that kind of stuff. Likewise, mantra. Why don't you call it gospel? Why do you call it mantra of something? Call it gospel, call it hadith, call it the call of sharia, the strictures of sharia. They will not. But we easily succumb to that, because we Hindus in India have allowed ourselves to become a happy hunting ground. Our secularism embraces everything, but nobody will embrace us, our thought process. We get ignored, we get sidelined, and our sentiments and our emotions and our values and our importance of things get sidelined. And I want to repeat that. There is no porn guru, there is no drug guru. Call them the Imam or Mufti of drug and porn. Call them Bishop and Pastor of drug and porn. Call them Gospel or Hadith or Sharia of something. They will not use it. And I'm asking all Indian television channels, everybody must take up this cause, that our gurus and pandits and mantras, these three words, dharma, they are important. They are very important for us, and this is where our cultural traditions merge. From dharma, guru, pandit, and mantra. It's not caste based; it's responsibility based. You see, for example, let me give you an example here. The West completely changed the name Smith. Goldsmith, ironsmith, blacksmith, whatever smith they were. They dropped the occupation and everybody became a smith. So it is occupation related. When I'm talking about Guru, Pandit, and Mantra, I'm not saying don't cover others. I'm giving this to you as a very classic example how the destruction of the mind begins by deriding and condemning your own words when you run them out. And this is where India's caste system gets very complicated by them, not by us. We had a Varna system in our country, right? We had a Varna system in the country that you could be whatever you wanted to be. And there was complete mobility between one to another. But the British came, the Portuguese came, they introduced the word casta and caste, and they destroyed the fabric of our thing. Think about it from this point of view. This is the body, right? Every one of us, man or woman, and everything in between, as the saying goes these days. Man and woman have designated body parts performing identical function. I'm asking a very simple question. This is the concept of body politic. Everybody has from head, brain to toe, head to toe, right? We have same body parts performing identical function. Is there any part of your body, visible or invisible, that is insignificant? Think from that perspective. There is nothing in the body that doesn't perform its designated job. There is nothing that is inferior or superior to somebody. It is a human designation of something. This is the hole in the mouth we use to take all the tasty food, and then there is a hole at the back that ejects all the digested waste. We call it waste. This is tasty, that's wasted. Think, it is a process of designation of something. Is there any part of our body which is insignificant that you will trade off for a penny here or a dollar there? No, you will not. Even this serves a purpose. Think about it. Your five fingers serve a purpose. Your hand serves a purpose. Everything has a purpose. Therefore, I want to say to all of you, become aware of your own life, your own words, and they're very critical. I'm saying everyone who is listening to this today, or you will share it with others, that Pandit, Guru, and Mantra, these are emanating from here, and everybody has that, regardless of whatever designation you might be feeling about that. Oh, that's a Brahminical thing. It has nothing to do with Shudra, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas. Everybody uses Guru, Pandit, and Mantra, needs that, because that's where learning comes in. Teacher comes in. Coach, mentor comes in to use the modern language. But Guru is much better, much superior entity than coach and mentor. Pandit is the one who performs the ritual of doing certain things from birth to death. And mantra is something that you chant, everyone, regardless of. If you have a brain, you need all those three. Think about it from that perspective. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to implore upon you very seriously to ask the Western media to not use Pandit, Mantra, and Guru. Use instead your own designated words of lofty ideals of Imam, Mufti, Sheikh, or Qazi, bishop, pastor, or priest, gospel and hadith and sharia. Think about it. We will tolerate, we will live and accept a porn guru or a mantra of that, or a drug czar, drug guru. We don't use the words imam of drug, bishop of porn, or gospel instead of mantra. That's important. Assert yourself, claim yourself what is yours. Dharma is different, and this is the message that I want to convey to you. Thank you very much for watching today, listening to us, and like, subscribe, and support. Our thought process is different. I want to bring to you certain actionable things. This you can do sitting on your computer, on your iPad, on your iPhone. You can act. Send the messages to everyone. Our gurus and our Pandit and our mantra are not the same. Use Imam, Bishop, Gospel, Mufti, Pastor, or Hadith, Sheikh, Qazi, and Priest instead of Guru and Pandit. Thank you very much for watching today. Namaskar.